What is up with the squad? The Cess, your favorite on team with Uncle Tendencies in the building. Y'all know what it is. It's time for the Cess Talk Sports BWISE PoliSports Tea Time. We're a little bit early today, y'all. We're a little bit early today because we got some special stuff going on the channel today. We got a rookie breakdown coming up with J Spot at 5 o'clock Eastern, and then of course we got the trash. I'm sorry, at 5 o'clock Eastern, and then we got the trash talk. We got the trash talk show coming up after that. So. But the first thing that we got to do is get to this right here, Lil. The sting, the con, like a movie, laid out like a movie. Let's talk about it. Y'all know where y'all at right now. It's PoliSports Tea Time. We do a lot of different stuff on this channel, but this is our time to really take a look at where sports, race, politics, and power collide. And we take these conversations serious. The work and the research that goes into the information shared in these conversations it is comprehensive and it's exhaustive, and we've been sharing. We're gonna start sharing out some of these resources so that y'all too can have access to this information that we're providing. But let's get into this thing, because this ain't just basketball. Y'all know it ain't always it ain't never just basketball. When me and Political Lil get together, it ain't just basketball when we hook up. So it's betrayal, it's trust flip, and hustle sharp enough to pass for Hollywood. Okay, did you hear me? It's betrayal, trust flip, and a hustle sharp enough to pass for Hollywood. We breaking out. This is Broken Sky, episode 5, the front office sting, the long con. Chicago Sky fans thought they was buying into a legacy, Lil. Oh man, they thought they was up. They thought they was into something. What they really got was 2 decades of false promises and exploitation. And some of y'all may not be familiar with this movie, The Sting. If you're not, check it out. In the movie The Sting, though, the mark never sees the table is rigged until the end. It's like a wobbly table. You know what I mean? You think it's balanced. You're like, man, but you lean one way and you didn't even know it was rigged until it's too late. That's the Chicago Sky fans. For 20 years, the front office dressed up hope, sold dreams of dynasty, no practice facility, no elite free agents, no long-term investment. The mark, the black women in Chicago who poured money, time, and love into this team. The hustle was selling the hope, spiking the ticket prices, and then cashing out on the loyalty without building a legacy. Ain't built not one brick of legacy. I don't even know if they cut I know they cut the ribbon. I don't know if they laid the foundation yet on that facility, but that's not the strategy. That's extraction. And pulling the curtain back tonight is the truth teller herself, Political Lil. She connects the dots, calls out the cycles, and lays bare the blueprint behind the con. Political Lil, what's up?
What's going on? And thank you, Auntie Cess. Look, family, let's get right into it. See, in the classic movie, it came out in 1973, it was called The Sting. Paul Newman and Robert Redford, they showed us that the long con isn't just about trickery, it's about trust. You don't take the Mars money in one swoop. You earn their confidence, build their belief, and then you flip the table when they least expect it. And when I looked at the Chicago Sky historically, that's exactly the play they've been running on their fans. For 20 years, the front office has pitched us on community uplift, women's empowerment, and legacy building. They sold the Sky Foundation as the beacon for Black women entrepreneurs, youth education, and health initiatives. They tied themselves to our culture, our politics, to build credibility. But behind the curtain, the story wasn't about growth. It was about extraction. The stars who passed through, the jerseys sold, the promises made, it all fed into a cycle that benefited ownership while leaving the fans holding disappointment season after season. And tonight, we're going to be pulling in receipts. We're going to trace the pattern from day one. And we're going to show y'all how this wasn't just bad management. It was a calculated hustle. This isn't about a team that's just, can't get it right. It's about a franchise that never intended to do so. So with that, let's get into the first segment, the hook. We're going to show you how the Sky pulled their fans in, sold a dream, and set the table for the long con.
Got a question in the chat. I'm gonna post for y'all too to start answering as we go through this, as we walk through this here. This first action. So the hook, every hustle start with a hook, right? We know that. It's not the big heights. They never get you with the big one first. It's always some little one. Make you believe in the game. You know what I mean? Make you a believer. That's how you pull somebody close enough to take everything later. That's what they did. The hook wasn't cards. It wasn't dice. It was hope. Win now. It's the slogan. They dressed it up with some celebrity investors, $85 million, people paying to be quiet, charity drives, community talk. They made the fans, especially the black women in Chicago, believe in legacy. But the receipts told a different story. No practice facility, no infrastructure, no dynasty foundation. It's just cycle. It's a cycle of hope. It's a cycle of heartbreak. It's a cycle of repackaged season after season. And that's the genius of the hood. You don't realize you're the market until you're already deep in the game. You're like, man, how many times I showed up for a new facility season after season? You look up, you 17 seasons in, ain't a brick laid. So when we talk about this hood, what made it so easy for the Chicago Sky to sell the community on this dream that ain't had no foundation, Lil?
They sold emotion over reality. And then they tapped into the community pride, the nostalgia, and the desire to see a black woman-led team win. So fans believed in the story more than the structure, which made it look, it was easy to hook them in, even though the foundation wasn't solid. They just we gonna get it done. It was always the next time, and you just keep stringing along, and the next time never comes.
Man, until the next time, it's like until the next time you wake up, like, okay, enough of the next time. Now I've been here long enough. But once the fans bought in, especially the black women who supported their time with that money culture, how did the front office keep recycling that hope year after year without being called out? That's what I don't get. Lies over facts. That's the part that I don't get. How does Chicago keep going for that year after year after year, and nobody's calling it out?
You know what? They was able to master distraction and optics. They would have big trades, high-profile signings. They would have the flashy marketing. And so they kept the fans engaged and hopeful. The narrative of we're building for the future. They've been building for the future since they started. Masked the lack of sustainable strategy. See, that allowed the office to recycle hope without facing accountability. Because it was always a marketing campaign, no matter what stars came in, how they was drafted, whether they was came in a trade. Mm-hmm. They always had a clever marketing scheme to set you up. So that's to set you up to believe, okay, it's gonna be this time. Okay, it's gonna be this time. They're already in motion setting up the next hook for next year. Even with all the turmoil going on, they're gonna tell you, no, we this is just part one. We're gonna build part two now. You're gonna see change. And then you probably wind up next season with the same, raggedy outcome, dissatisfied superstars, and Angel Reese on her way out the door, which I believe she on her way out the door this summer, but that's neither here, there, because I think she just talked her way out the door, and then they'll recruit somebody else. They'll get something, maybe they may land a flaw J or something like that, and they'll be right back to the same thing.
Well, see, that's the thing I was gonna ask. It's interesting that all of this kind of came together. I love when the plan work out, even though it wasn't no plan. Lil, I said, I got this. We need to talk about this kind that's going on. It's a real kind going on. So as we put this together, Angel drops her news about, hey, I'm not going for this next year. Something else got to happen. Is that a big enough, I guess, strike at the system to shake up the con, to make everybody wake up now? I don't know. What was that movie? Get Out? What did they clap or they snap? Which one made your nose bleed in the movie? So we know you need help. Whatever one that is, has she exposed? You think they can keep running this game?
Yeah, they're gonna keep running the game, and she gonna be the latest piece out the game. These
okay,
boys,
wait. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, wow, Lil, I didn't think so.
Oh, yeah. These guys in Chicago, I keep telling people Chicago is no joke. This is the land of Al Capone. These dudes up here are gangsters. And ain't nobody, I don't care how big you think you are, how big your so-called brand is. I don't care how many movies you in and this, that, and the other. she just talked her way on the ticket out. You're not going. These dudes right here, they're not going to be challenged. You know, unless you can get the fan base to not show up at all next year, not buy not one jersey, you ain't getting no change in Chicago. They're gonna keep because they're winning. This is beneficial. They already probably made close to $40 million off Reese. Her value gone. They looking for the next mark who they gonna run up, and that's probably gonna be Cardoso. They gonna try to get a little of that international money.
Oh, wait a minute. At some point, Lil, at some point, if I'm in Chicago, I say, man, it'd be cheaper for me to save my money up and go to Ball Holler for a game. I fly out to California and watch a game. Before I show up someplace where ain't no facility and you ain't supporting you're not supporting the women, right? Like, for what?
In Chicago, the fans been conditioned to support a loser.
Saying here,
you know
they Jeremy, what's up? Let me see what they telling us here, Lil. If y'all want to support, hit the like, hit the share. They both right there. Hit the Cash App if you feel inclined. Send the super chat. We appreciate the support. Based on those who have been talking, the Sky organization, them red flags been raised high in the air. Yeah, okay. Okay. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, listen, now Angel Reese has to be the last straw. At some point, you have to get to the last straw.
No, she's the next straw. She ain't the last straw. She the next straw. You know, because they done already got 2 years worth of money off her. And now that she done exposed them, so to speak. I mean, it was bad enough. She's a eyeball attention. So, I mean, you just think about it. What hustler in the street gonna let a mark come along and tell them how to change their hustle? That's not gonna happen. It's been now. Reese may have a Hall of Fame career, but you talking about 2 Hall of Famers that come through here and 14 All-Stars. Ain't none of them been able to get a McDonald's meal out these people. And these are the same people that's been in the game for the whole time the game been running. This is the way, just like the Valks run their franchise more on a business model. This is their model, and there will be no interruption to the model. It's just that simple. So I expect her to be gone before this what are supplemental drafts or whatever they got coming up. I expect her to be gone next 30, 60, no later than 90 days. Yeah, she.
Well, I think the trade deadline is passed, so I don't know if they can move her.
No, I'm talking about in the next cycle. She won't be on the.
I got you.
Yeah, the 2016 team. They should get a nice haul for her. The only team I think she's gonna wind up in Washington because they the only one seem to have a whole lot of number 1 draft picks that they could get. I think the Sky will probably get a couple of first rounders out of that deal, maybe even a second. They don't have no draft capital. And so she has announced that she want to leave if they don't change. And I guarantee you 100% change not going to happen. That's not going to happen. These guys are waiting for a big cash out. You got $1 billion getting ready to come into the league over the next 4 to 5 years. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think the front office take whatever they little bit out. That money from them fees of people coming into the league, franchise fees, that's split among the owners. All of them ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere. They gonna sit for that money. If they the true hustlers, I believe they are. They not moving off that square.
Well, let's say they are. So if they are, then once they pick the mark, the first move is the setup, right? Mm-hmm. So they didn't jump in on a big con. So the big con is the $1 billion then.
Yeah.
So they've been building the stage. They clocking the mark. A little bit here, a little bit here, a little championship, little Twin Towers over here for a little bit. Then they learn how to play them. That's where Chicago Sky front office kind of showed their hand. From day one in 2006, y'all, the Sky knew the mark was the fan base. Not casuals, but the black women ready to invest, right? Emotionally, financially, culturally, whatever, ready to invest. Front office saw visions of community uplift, empowerment, Reality, though, no practice facility, no elite hires, and ain't no dynasty blueprint. Hustle is never about the long haul. It's short-term extraction dressed up as future building. This guy kept talking bricks and foundation. What they delivered was loyalty drained season after season. That was the setup. Not Leo. The fans thought they was partners. That's the other thing. They made it feel like they was partners. We in this together. Us. We gonna have us. In truth, they was the bankroll for the hustle. When you look back at those early years, and you had a chance to watch this up close and personal, when you look back at them early years, what was the biggest red flag that showed this wasn't a real business plan, but more of a hustle blueprint?
I mean, the red flag was kind of everywhere. It was constant short-term fixes, because that first 8 years, they was just a loss. But the main thing was a lack of investment in player development and a reliance on hype instead of sustainable roster plans or a revenue plan. The moves looked flashy, but there was really no backbone for long-term success. And that's a classic hustle over business. I mean, when you look, all you got to do is compare this franchise to the Valks. Mm-hmm. The Valks was intentional. Before any player hit the floor, they invested in a facility, got that baby all fixed up, ready to roll. Then they, carefully put everything in place, got their coach, got their gym. The man gave a timeline. That's called a smart goal. It was measurable. It was a timeline. He said within 5 years, I want to do this, that, and the other. And I think he ahead of schedule. And then they went out, marketed the people to, to buy in, maybe because they had a championship pedigree or DNA. I don't really know. But the Chicago didn't do nothing like that. It was just piecemeal. All the way. Piece here, piece there, hustle here, hustle there, marketing campaign here. I mean, but you had this is a basketball place for women, and this man sat up here and said that he never invested because there was no women cultural history. We done had women athletics in this city since I think 1898, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, wow. And the first athletic scholarship was given out of his alma mater. So how you can sit up there and run, but who,
not even know his history.
Yeah, who gonna go back and check? The average fan not gonna do that. They just if you a white male and you got a suit and tie and you look like you nothing but money, people gonna fall over, believe anything you say. And that's the way it goes in Chicago.
Well, I mean, and Jeremy, that was the grip. Everybody did. We all did. We thought it was ours. Oh man, Chicago back on the scene. I mean, they ran this place so good. The NFL players was coming. The NBA players were coming. Everybody was coming to win.
Actors, actresses, singers.
It was up. Right?
Celebrities.
It was finna be lit. Yeah. That was it. That's what they sold us. Brass tacks was good. Protect the youth was good. Gotta hit the like button for the truth. Thank y'all. Washington already has Kiki with that work. Yeah, interesting. Washington is an interesting place. I don't think that's where Angel ends up. I think the Angel ends up someplace. I don't think that she ends up back at home. Although if she does, it wouldn't be a bad thing for her. But I like Angel out in like a Valhalla. I like Angel out in LA. I even like Angel in Phoenix or Arizona. Not so much Atlanta.
I like it even at Seattle. But none of them have. They don't have the trade capital. They don't have the trade capital now, unless they get into some multi-team trade. Washington is sitting on a whole. I think they're sitting on 3 more number 1 picks this coming draft. So they in pretty good shape, and I think they the only one that and they gonna try to send her somewhere she don't want to be. But they damn sure ain't gonna try to accommodate her like they did Dana and Izzy. Because those girls went alone. They never bucked the system. They never challenged the the ownership. I don't really know why Angel did that. I was like, did you really need to do that? But she put her mouth on out there, and sometimes that's either her exit strategy, because she certainly. Let me tell you something. Lisa Leslie knows Alter very well. She was one of the first people he talked to before he got in the game. And along with Rebecca Lobo, and it was some other young lady, I can't remember. And then Fowles knows him too, and that's Reese's mentor, one of Reese's mentors, one of her people from LSU. So I can't believe, as strategic as she has been, she didn't sit down and talk to these people before she opened her mouth. Otherwise, I had to believe that it was just an emotional outburst of sorts, because that was just.
Well, I mean, she walked it back a little bit. She walked it back a little bit in the presser.
She only walked back what she said about her teammates not being good. Now, and I didn't like it.
But did she lie? Okay, well, she didn't have to tell nobody in public. She didn't have to tell nobody in she didn't have to tell nobody in public.
Well, the bottom line is you either good, you great, or you elite. Now, we know damn well they don't have elite players on the team. They got, I would say that Atkins is a great guard, and the center has some greatness in her. But the rest of them know damn well they filler pieces. And bargain basement chips and that type of thing. These not no elite damn athletes out there. That's why they couldn't win a damn thing. And then everybody was kind of for themselves. I just would have kept it focused on the organization and them, not having a facility, whatever the pregame meal. Each of the issues that other previous players has kind of brought up, I'd have kept it in that direction. I just there's no repair for that, And then you had previously already posted a picture with you and Teresa. We understand you was upset. I didn't think it was smart. I don't think she know who she dealing with. I really don't. Okay. And maybe her team.
Well, here was my thing. This is why I said I was okay with it. See, don't make me the junior GM if you don't want me to talk like the GM. See, y'all said I was the junior GM. So now speaking about what's going on with the team as a junior GM, what I see. Y'all didn't want to hear that? That's okay. Yeah, I don't think from what I saw here. Let me tell y'all this. First of all, I wasn't paying for them for that article. I'm just keeping a book. So I didn't get to read the article in its entirety for myself because I just wasn't spending my money on it like that. But in none of the clips that I saw of the article did I see her actually name a teammate. And then I see Andre, you saying a bunch of role players, but let's be clear. I like what you said. Good, great, elite, right? Regardless of what they are. It's 156 of them spots available. They the best ones. They the best ones in the world, right? And we could be like, oh, it's just a bunch of role players. But remember that Golden State is just a bunch of role players because that's a team built off of what? Unprotected players that was number 7 through 12 on their team last year. So it ain't about you being a role player. It's about what they do with you, what the coach and the organization does with you. Because a bunch of role players right now, and I believe if you go back on my live, I believe I specifically called. I don't know what the hell Golden State doing. Bunch of role players. What they gonna do with this? Shut up, Cess, because look at them. They in the playoffs. Let me show you what we can do when you got an organization and you got a strategy.
That's why I said
element around you.
That's why I said she should have kept it directed at the organization.
I got you.
And at the system. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Last night game, I saw some clips. I haven't seen the whole game, but from what I understand,
Chicago Cheetah, tell me the name she called. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lil.
They were featuring Reese and Cardoso, which is something they should have been doing from the beginning. But you have somebody trying to institute a pro system without having the elite players. You cannot run a 5-out system like over at Vegas without elite players. You have to have elite shooters from the outside, elite players at every position. And the truth of the matter is the roster wasn't constructed to accommodate what they were trying to run in the system. So then it comes down to, don't tell me no lie about win now. Just say it's a recalibration of a rebuild. Don't lie to me and tell me win now. You're not ready to win now, winning 9 or 10 games. The win now people are the aces. Win now people, everybody that's kind of in the playoffs at the top. I would say the first 1 to 14, that's where you're gonna see your most elite players. So my thing with the Sky is you don't have to lie to people that's already loyal to you. You're not making any sense. This was not a damn win now. That's what made people think, damn, this got to be some kind of or some kind of game.
Exactly that. Here's the thing, and that's exactly it, Leo. I'm glad you said that, man. I was coming here when y'all was losing, and I was gonna keep coming here. Coming here, man. The popcorn is good. The hot dogs is all right. It's something to do on Wednesday. I'm okay with that. I spend my little $13 or whatever, and I enjoy it. Now you told me this was a win now. Now I bought in. Win now. I got a jersey. Win now. I got a pair of shoes. But I came out here and y'all still losing. But now my Wednesday night that was $13, and I was okay with that because we was gonna lose. But I was gonna see Jim because he's here every Wednesday, and Sally because she just want to see the Sky win. Now that $13 Wednesday is costing me $130, and we still ain't winning.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem. I was okay. I was coming. Man, I ain't gonna win. But we gonna go on down here anyway because this is what we do on Wednesday, and we gonna stop on by the local bar on the way back, or whatever that is. Whatever that is, the people were okay with that. But that wasn't even good enough. You got greedy. The thing that killed me, man, if you're gonna make something better, why you gotta up the price? Just give me the better one. Okay, after the first game of the season that this team was headed to the shitter. Okay, but let me say this, because Brass, I want to, because I saw you make a comment that said if they send Angel to, what did you say? Basketball Siberia, purgatory? What do you say? Something like that. Basketball Siberia. There is no basketball Siberia in the WNBA. And you know why I say that? Because here's why I say that. If the Dallas Wings had Ty Harris healthy for the beginning of the season, they look different. If Connecticut had been healthy for the beginning of the season, they knocking on the door to spoil somebody's dance card at number 8. If the LA Sparks had got Tremble down there and figured out to let Rakia be who she gonna be earlier, they're knocking at the playoffs and looking different. There isn't a basketball Siberia in the WNBA. There actually isn't a bad basketball team in the WNBA. There are mismanaged organizations, there's misused talent, and then there are coaches that don't know what the hell they doing. But there is no bad basketball team in this league. Tell me the one that is that was fully healthy this season. Peter, we know that already. We know that. We know that. Angel didn't throw any of her teammates under. And that's what I want to know. She didn't say any names. She just said the quality of the players. And if it hurts your feelings to hear that you're not great around here, but you're good at what you do, would you do what I need you to do? You got to be able to see, people got to be able to be who you are. She mentioned Sloot, HVL, and Rachel. What she said about him? Sloot's old, HVL is coming along, and Rachel Banham needs to be better. And if that's what she said, that's what the junior GM should say. But here's the thing. I understand what y'all say when some stuff should stay in the locker room. But at the same time, a closed mouth don't get fed. And so I'm not going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Now, I came in the door. I said it before. I came in the door. I told you who I was. This is what I'm coming in here for. I'm coming in here to be challenged, and I'm coming in here to hold people accountable. Go back and pull it up. She told y'all that.
Yeah, she sure did.
Then when she got to holding people accountable, she said, "Hey, next season, hey, we here. This is what we doing. We gonna pull this thing together. I'm out here trying to bring talent in." I think Angel made more calls out to talent to try to come into Chicago than the front office did. So how much longer am I gonna stand around here when I also know as a business person, I own a soccer team, I'm part owner and unrivaled. I know it's $1 billion coming into this thing over the next few years. Am I just gonna stand around and keep going? Hey, no. He said, "Watch Minnesota if they don't win." What you mean, Peter? I missed it. What happened? Let me see. They might make a play for Angel with the Sky's pick. Maybe. I keep hearing that. I guess where I'm at with that is, like I said, Angel, I think, has a skill set that plays on any of these teams. What I don't know is if she has a skill set that plays for any of these coaches. So, Cheryl Reeves and Angel, how does that mix? But like I told y'all from the gate, I feel like Cheryl Reeves is standing over the next to Nafisa, like, "Hey, you okay?" But man, she's bad. If I'd have seen her first, honey, I might not have asked for you. I might not ask for your number. That might have been the one I went at. You hear me? And I'm keeping it a buck. Yeah, I'm keeping it a buck. Hey, you nice, but hey, and I'm talking about just basketball skills right now. I'm talking pure basketball skills, because Angel's motor and that it's something you can't teach that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't teach that. Angel didn't mention any player by name. Julia Poe did, and that is why she says her words were misconstrued. Read the article and look at what is actually quoted. It wasn't bad. So K-Stone, like I said, I'm not reading the article. I'm not paying them for that. I think that they shit on the Chicago Sky. What my question was, what my statement was I didn't see a clip where I saw a quote of her calling anyone's name. So I asked people, what did she say? Whose names did she call? So that's what I want, the clarification. So I appreciate that. Angel did the same thing Asia did when the Aces was blown out by 50. Asia called her teammates out on national television. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if Angel called anybody out on national television. Asia did, but Asia also, Kelsey Plum also came to a press conference and said, "Asia told me to get my shit together." Now people may take that better from Asia because of Asia's resume, but you have to be able to respect Angel for who she is at that team, and you got to take that from her too. Because, okay, let's see who all got a championship, who all got a WNBA championship that they really worked for, that it really counted. It really counted for you on. They was counting on you about it. Okay, nobody. If you just got a chip because you was on the team, now we off to the national championships. See what I'm saying? You sent the non-paywall version in the chat. Okay, thank you, Teddy. There is no quote of her saying any teammate by name. Okay, that's what I was saying. I don't care. The quality of the players ain't that great. But y'all know that coming in here. If your feelings is hurt by that, then you too soft for me. Like, you got to be self-aware in this league. Hey, you know what? I'm not a star, but I'm a heck of a role player. I got 8 minutes of tenacious defense that I bring that makes the difference. And I'm going to bring that every time I can. Asia can call them out, a player that need work. Can't. No, Asia needs work too. That's why Asia's working in the offseason. Angel can. See, here's the thing. Asia can because Asia's Asia. Angel can because Angel is the leader of that team. She has to be able to call them out. I don't give a damn if this guy don't want Angel to be the star of the team. Then make one. I read that they misconstrued Angel's words in that article. Yeah. And that's why I asked, what did she say? Because listen, Rachel Banham, listen, honey, no, you're not an elite 3-point shooter in this league. If that hurts your feelings, then you're not self-aware. Can you get on a heater? Yeah. Are you streaky? Yes. Are there other things that you could do to contribute? Absolutely. But we're not going to do that. Yeah, I'm with you, Waterfall. If your feelings got hurt because she said it's only good players here and we need great, if you can't look around and tell that we need great or elite around here, then you don't need to be here. If you're standing in Chicago right now and you like, oh no, we good, then you're the problem in Chicago. You need to get up out of here because you're not good. She said they shouldn't solely rely on a Sloot coming off an ACL injury, but that Sloot is great to have, and say they need you. You got, yeah, that's right. If you ask any basketball mind, that's what they would say. As a matter of fact, they would say they shouldn't have been counting on Sloot at 38 anyway as the answer. She should have always just been a plan B.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
man, the Sky playing in everybody's face. And actually, they ain't playing the Angel face no more. They'll look up and Angel gonna be somewhere else. Angel be in New York somewhere. Y'all look up and Angel be with Ellie.
Now, that might be a spot too. If she winds up in.
And quite for some reason, people keep telling me Angel to Dallas.
I don't see her in the Southern market, but never know. I mean, I wouldn't go to Dallas because they probably owned by the Chicago Sky too.
Oh, we're gonna see how much longer that lasts. It makes me wonder if Vets are losing on purpose. I don't think Vets is losing on purpose. I don't think nobody. Listen, I don't. Listen. For hard as they have to work to get the little bonuses and stuff, I don't think nobody out there losing on purpose. It's basically Jeff and Sloop versus Angel, and we all know who they'll choose.
Yeah, it's just that now they bottom line is they making money. They feelings ain't hurt. Who you think they selling to? I mean, you should see the prices of those tickets. I think we talked about that in the last episode. How ridiculous them ticket prices. But your marketing slogan is win now. You didn't win now. You didn't even get close to winning now.
So, Lil, why are you saying that Dallas is partially owned by the Chicago Sky?
Because they gave them a cash infusion last year after they made that money on Angel. And I think they got a 10% interest, if I'm not mistaken.
So, Waterfall.
So I wouldn't dare go to Dallas.
That's where that's coming from.
Too long an arm for me.
A cash infusion that gave them a 10% ownership. Sloop will need Angel will sell. Ariel probably ain't staying, which really emphasizes how bad that trade was. Yeah, but if you can't keep Ariel, that's the reason why to me the kind I ain't finna keep coming down there and give you no $70 for no hot dog. And you ain't winning nothing. I ain't finna keep doing that. Angel Reese needs to come to Houston. Okay. There's not a team that Angel can't play for, and that's fine. We can move Angel around, but at the end of the day, there's still 12 people suffering in the organization that needs to be held accountable. Mm-hmm. Right? So when you think about it, the pitch is always fresh in a city built on basketball, right? It was fresh. It was history in the making, and it was 8 losing seasons. It was constant coaching changes. I think in Chicago, besides LA and Chicago, have they had the most coaching turnover? Needs equals I want. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. But the con always give you just enough to believe. Rookie of the year in 2013, Deladon. See, we on our way. That turned into a finals run in 2014. Like, oh, the foundation was hollow, y'all. No infrastructure, no dynasty plan, no long-term commitment. That's the brilliance of the long con. It's managed hope. It ain't even failure. It's managed hope. Every time a star arrived, Candace Dupree, here we go. Sylvia Fowles, Courtney Vandersloot, we on our way now. We always on our way. Have you seen that movie? The fans in Chicago need to be doing just like Ice Cube and the people. Are we there yet? Because we've been on our way for 20 years. Are we there yet?
Exactly.
Are we there yet? We've been on our way 20 years. Damn it, where are we going? Behind the curtain, the blueprint, it's not a dynasty, it's extraction. Keep the fans invested long enough to keep the money flowing. And that's the problem. Chicago probably had more, and I don't even know for sure. Okay, what I miss here? H-Town is getting Suns. We're going to get Reese and Cardoso. This is Texas. We do everything big. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Help me understand why H-Town couldn't keep Houston in the first place. Yeah, Cappy was there. Copper's been there. I mean, listen, the list goes on and on. But what stands out to you about 14? Exactly. What stands out to you about the way the Sky used each new star player as bait in this long con instead of just truly building around them?
What stands out is the transactional approach. The stars are treated like marketing tools rather than cornerstones of the team. So each signing created a buzz, ticket sale, but the front office was never committed to a real sustainable strategy to leverage their talent, for the long run. In other words, you get a star out the draft, but then you make no plan to build around the star. You just string them along long enough for you to make whatever you're going to make, and then you figure out a way to discard them. They either become disgruntled and you get them on out of there like they did with Fowles, or you force Deladon on out. She went on to win a championship. I mean, it's them people in the front office. The owner comes out of a hustle industry. Real estate is the ultimate hustle, and it was the first hustle created in this nation, land. So he come out of a hustler's mentality, because that's been his occupation. That's where he made his mogul money, so to speak. So this is not a far-fetched concept, for him to be doing it. It's just, I don't know. It's always a buzz. I done been through at least 4 or 5 buzz cycles. Had me running down there, and I had to stop messing with them. When they got Pokey Chapman, I'm running down there. Cappy came home. I'm running down there because she was a star in at our high school Marshall, which won. That coach retired with 800 or 900 victories. They was a big time program. So when Candace came home, everybody running back down there. Then she gone, and now this latest person, Angel Reese coming in here. Shit, Angel came in here 5 million fans, running behind her, and here it go, and I can see the water faucet turning off, and they of course gonna tank. I assume they're gonna get a lottery pick. It's on to the next hustle. That's the way it's looking. That's just based on their history, of how they have done things.
Mm-hmm. So when you look at that cycle of hope, right? Deladon, the Fowles, that 21-20, think about that. Besides New York and Las Vegas, the Chicago Sky is the last team to win a championship in the WNBA. Think about how New York looks right now. Think about how Las Vegas looks right now. And Las Vegas it was like, yo, what are y'all doing at the beginning of the season? But even through it all, here at the end of the season, think about that. 2021, 4 years removed. Look at what they look like. It's crazy. What do you think? Why do you think fans keep buying back in, even after the pattern is clear?
You know what? Fans, they bought back in because the organization, they sell you dreams, not reality. They have the fan base here, especially Black and brown women, like on an emotional roller coaster. That investment in community pride, the promise of next year, that keeps you engaged. It's storytelling that was so strong that even temporarily overshadowed the repeated failures that you going on. It's like you just overlooking it. Because when I think about even my transaction between Candace and then that whole thing collapsing, but of course I was a fan of Angel Reese, from Maryland to LSU. So when they got her, I mean, I have watched that draft night hundreds of times. Probably it was just thrilling all the way up to the first time they got on the court and this, that, and the other. So you get lured in, but that's what happens when you got a mark. It's just like a person say, if you see a stupid person, bump their head, just keep on bumping it, because at some point they'll wake up, but that could be when their pockets are completely clipped.
Let's talk about the cast, Lil. Let's talk about the cast, because it's an interesting cast. You got to have a mastermind. You got to have a fixer, smooth talker, roller. And each role makes the hustle believable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same script, different cast when you look at the front office. Michael Alter, civic-minded owner. Adam Fox, policy CEO. Jeff Pagliocca, player development guy. Nadia Rawlins is supposed to be the face of empowerment, and in the media, hiding the trades, glossing the losses. But behind the titles, they ain't dynasty builders. These is actors in a long run of hustle, and each role keeps the mark the fans believe in. Representation is camouflage, PR spin is distraction, and media as soundtrack. And once you see that crew for who they are, the hustle's not accidental. You can tell it's orchestrated. When you look at the Sky's front office, how did each of these characters, Alter, Fox, Pagliocca, Rawlinson, and even the media, play their part in keeping that hustle alive?
You know what? Each player, they was fantastic at the optics game. You know, the front office executives created illusions of progress and competency. You know, the media amplified any of the hype. You know, they partners in crime. You know, and they just spun stories that masked the real strategy, and they kept the fans so engaged, and it was just hopeful despite, you know, having a weak foundation. Like, a lot of fans don't understand what infrastructure in basketball is. And, you know, the fact that, you know, I don't think a lot of them discovered they was even playing in a rented recreation gym until Reese came. You know, a lot of people, you know, they knew that they had a practice facility place in Deerfield, but I don't think they knew it wasn't owned by them, and it was just some cheap rental. You know, and Candace was the one broke out. You know, Candace cried out for a facility herself. I remember her saying she didn't have a locker. You know, so you running around with your bag all the time. You don't even have a place to put your items and stuff like that. And then the Shields had reported that her shoes got stolen. I mean, you shouldn't be even interacting like that with the public.
But Lil, Kai Copper said she was hungry. Now, Kai Copper said wasn't no pregame meal. Now, before the facility, the all that, it wasn't even no sandwiches or nothing, no salads, no nothing. No
That's
apple,
absurd.
orange, nothing. Before the game, no pregame meal. These are pro athletes.
I find that egregious in the sense that Chicago is one of the biggest restaurant markets in this country. You're not gonna tell me you could have shot a letter to somebody and say, "Hey, can you give me free meals for the girls, and we'll pass out some of your little flyers, you know, as the people come in the door, this, that, and." I mean, that could have been some kind of exchange. But if you got a plantation mentality, you don't care. Slaves just barely had enough to keep themselves alive. So if you see these girls as commodities and not fully human beings, that's the way you're gonna treat them. I mean, the other young lady that played for Minnesota, she complained that, you know, they couldn't get hotel, they couldn't stay in the hotels. I guess they had checkout for the game, you know, for away games and stuff like that. I mean, just to me, and that's what he
get a late checkout. Yeah,
he's a streamliner. He streamlined the operation so that he minimized his expenses, you know, so that he maximized his profits. That's what he did. He don't care.
Y'all know that in any kind, there's a moment when the theory ends and the game got to begin, right? The cards got to hit the table. You got to run the con in real time. That was the win now era. Win now.
Don't remind
just
me.
talking about draft night. Draft night was debate. That was Angel, Kamilla. They weren't just players. They're cultural icons. Kamilla say, who gonna get the rebounds? Who gonna get the rebounds? With me and her down there. Who gonna get the rebounds? Who gonna get them? As soon as that happened, ticket spike, jersey sold out. What's happening, y'all? The hype machine pushed destiny. Fans believe this is a turning point. Here come that dynasty we've been waiting on. My boat finally coming in. Soon as my boat get here. But here's the switch. The real win now plan means elite veterans, a floor general, bench depth, practice facility. They stitched bargain bid contracts and leaned on PR smoke. Ariel Atkins trade was spun like fireworks. WNBA champion, Team USA Olympian, but the fine print, they gave us the number 3 pick in the future assets in the loaded draft. They gave that up. But Ariel, who y'all just told me probably ain't even gonna stay. They mortgaged tomorrow to sell hope, just to sell hope today. And that's the crazy part. Look at the 2025 draft and the arrival of Angel, Reese and Kamilla. Why was it such powerful bait for fans? I'm sorry, the 2024. Mm-hmm. How did they spin that? How did they spin that into something bigger than basketball?
Look, Reese and Cardoso, they were hype magnets. You know, heroes, rising stars. The front office used them to sell a narrative of instant legitimacy and championship window. Making a fact, because both of them came from championships. You know, they were, you got to remember, both of them was the back-to-back NCAA champion. So they made the fans feel like they were a part of a historic rebuild, even though the long-term structure wasn't in place. Still had no facility. They hadn't even laid a brick. Wasn't even, trying to get a loan. But I mean, when Angel, with Angel coming in, that's when now we going, now is a good time to invest in the facilities. That then you get delay after delay after delay. I still don't know if they laid the foundation. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. Every time you hear something in the news cycle, it's some kind of spin. Oh, they wanted to add something to the facility. Oh, they couldn't get a loan. Now I'm gonna tell you how this person is. The owner done got another city in Illinois on the hook for that loan for that facility. It's still not his money. So that's why I say he is the ultimate hustler. He done hustled Bedford to guarantee that loan on that facility. I mean, what you doing? I'm still trying to figure out what you did with the $85 million that Wade gave. What did y'all do with the money? That's enough to build 2 facilities. I don't know. It just
listen. Well, and I think the blow off is the cruelest part of the con, right? That moment when you realize, they say if you ain't laughing, you probably the one they talking about. If they telling the joke and you ain't laughing, it's you. Mm-hmm. That's it's too late now. The game was rigged, and that's where the Chicago fans are at right now. For 20 years, these black women have been pouring in love, money, support, culture, tickets, jerseys, hairstyles, outfits, going out, meals, all of that to go into the game, because we don't never just go to the game. We don't never just go to the game. We go pre-game, we go post-game, we go in the game. It's lit. It's up. All that energy through 5-win seasons, 20-win seasons. And they never built a dynasty. Never had an intention on building a dynasty is, I think, what hurts the most. But a bunch of win-now slogans. And they haven't invested into the foundation that the dynasty demands. Every era of stars that have arrived there ended the same. Hype. Fans buy in, stars get up out of there. Hype it up. Fans buy in, stars get up out of there. Foundation crumbles, reset button hits. You say, so can't nobody can pass by and see if the brick's been built yet. I ain't close enough, Mackin. I don't know. I ain't in the area. This team was poorly constructed. If you take Angel off and put Asia, the best player in the world, and they still wouldn't make the playoffs. I don't know what the status is of the facility. Elena Deladon, Sylvia Fowles, Candace Parker, Courtney Vandersloot, gone, but maybe coming back, but all gone, not by accident, by design. And that's the jackpot moment was Parker's 2021 title. That got cashed out instead of reinvested. And that's the hustle right there. It was never about legacy. It was just about the payout. they and it's crazy. I don't understand, in a city that has 6, in a city that's seen a man in the team go get 6, why you would be okay with just a payout on 1. We saw what 6 did. The Chicago Bulls are still selling tickets right now off of Michael Jordan's name. And if you don't believe me, tell me your favorite Chicago Bulls moment for last season. I'll wait. But anyway, and that's not to say that they're not building. I don't mean for them to catch a straight, but at the same time, that's what 6 championships will do for an organization. I ain't going. Why do you say Candace Parker's championship moment was the jackpot chip of this con? And I, we call it Candace's jackpot championship moment, but that was Kai Copper's Finals MVP. Just keep that in mind too, y'all. But how did the front office blow it off instead of building them?
I mean, when you think about it, Candace Parker's championship was the ultimate validation. The jackpot everyone bought into. But instead of using it to build a sustainable team and culture, the front office treated it like a one-off spectacle, failing to invest in infrastructure, long-term talent retention. Now, the bottom line is this. It's 2025 that happened in 2021. And you still ain't built a facility, nor did you make a move towards the facility until 3 years later when Angel Reese came into the picture. I mean, Candace is a legend in the game. She was a hometown hero. And once she saw, nah, they ain't getting ready to do nothing, you know, she got on out of there. You know, she went on to, I mean, you know, you go to Vegas and then you see they building. It ain't even close about who I'm signing with. So she didn't resign. She moved on.
Exactly. You know, in a con like this, the only way to beat the hustle is to flip it back on the hustlers. And this is where we are right now. Y'all know me and Political always got some action. Some action we got to get to before we get out of here. So, y'all know for 20 years, Sky fans been the bankroll. It only works if the black women and the brown people that have been supporting this thing can keep paying. Pull your money, pull your energy, your faith. The whole hustle collapse. That's the counter sting. Fans got to demand the change. Hashtag sell the sky. Hashtag sell the sky. Hashtag new sky. Know the ticket price, ticket renewals. Know the empty promises. And we got to say no to Jersey funded mediocrity. Hustlers only understand profit and loss, period. So if ownership don't feel the financial squeeze, they're going to continue to run the same play forever. Copper, Diamond DeShields, Candace Parker, everybody got up out of there. How do fans flip the script? Stop being a mark and start being a movement. Accountability, investment, real leadership. That's the only path, and it's the only way Chicago ever gets the dynasty it deserves and could have had by now. You said this before, Leo. This isn't disloyalty, it's love. Can you break down why boycotting and demanding a sale isn't about abandoning the team, but about protecting the players and the community that built it?
Look, you got to hold the franchise accountable. And the fans aren't turning their back. They're just saying, look, we done invested our money, time, culture, and we're being exploited. Boycotts and calls for change are love in action, protecting both the players and the communities that sustain the team for decades. We owe it to Angel Reese to protect her. We owe it to Kamilla to protect them and protect their brands by not continuing to allow them to be exploited and used.
We done laid out a playbook now. We're going to get ready to land this thing. Lil, what you got before we get ready to get out of here?
Look, don't look. We done laid out the playbook for you. The hook, the setup, the crew, the long con, and the blow off. Finally, the counter sting. You know, 20 years we've been getting the same hustle ran on us. And it's just time for us to stop buying season tickets, buy the jerseys from the players, and not the the team store. Stop paying money into something that you know is exploiting and destroying the lives of other women. You know, especially if you a woman yourself. But even the guys that that's coming into the play. Don't allow this team to triple the ticket prices and then subject yourself to a substandard product on the floor. That was a terrible product they put on the floor this season. And stop running for that. We got it next time, because I'm telling y'all, they setting up the marketing hook for next year. It's already in motion. They like we on this podcast. They in a meeting. How we gonna con them this year? You know, you got to put your foot down. As long as you don't, you're gonna keep getting pimped, played, and hustled, because that's the name of the game. You see a fool bump his head and bump it as many times as they will allow it.
Look, the con only work if the marks stay quiet. So when the marks speak up and the mark fight back, that's the hustle collapsing. Y'all, we're not powerless. We got culture, we got voice, we got leverage. Are we gonna use it? They deserve more than smoke and mirrors in Chicago. Real investment, real respect, real legacy. They've earned it. But don't just listen, take action. Respect Their Game online. Join us. Hashtag respect their game. Hashtag sell the sky. Hashtag new sky. Use your voice, your platform, your comments to demand better for players and community. And when you spread the word, use them hashtags. Why didn't they get a good coach? They ain't got a good organization. Ain't no good coach looking at that like, yeah, that's a good job. Hell no.
Shit,
They just ain't.
Yeah, it ain't no long line trying to get in there. Why you think Sidney Johnson left? Why couldn't they have tapped him? Look what he's done in Washington. Because he looked at the organization and he know, oh, they play. I'm going somewhere where they serious.
Sidney say, the hell I am. They win games when they play through the bigs. The sky has fallen. Hashtag, the sky has fallen. Yeah, Chicken Little told us, you're right. Take action. Sell the sky. Like the slogan. Hey, sell them. But hey, listen, we appreciate y'all support. Like, share, subscribe, comment, push this thing out. Each one of y'all invite 10. Super chats, cash apps, whatever way you can support. But we got to keep the conversation. We got to keep the conversation out there. It only grows. This conversation only grows if we grow it together. We got to use our voice together to push back. Like we part of the con. We're part of the con too. How many people got Chicago Sky jerseys? How many people went to Chicago Sky games? Hey, Lil ain't the only one who bought a $20 hot dog. Next time on Broken Sky, we're gonna really expose the exploitation of Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso, and how that next thing is already being staged. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. If you did not hit that like on the way in, please hit the like and the share on the way out. Bill, you got anything before we ready to go?
Hey, just keep coming. We're gonna keep coming with information. We appreciate your comments. We do look at them. And spread the word, get other people involved that because politics is definitely a part of sports.
Mondo, hold on the way out. Sound like money. Oh, appreciate the support, fam. Listen, I'm back in just a few minutes, like 5 minutes, with a special rookie breakdown with J Spot. So y'all pull up. Let's talk some of the rookies that's the surprises this year, like Okikiola.
Oh yeah.
Pepper. Has the loan been approved for the practice facility? That part I don't know. We're gonna have to. Well, you know what? Maybe we need to do a breakdown on the practice facility, see what we can find out, and give an update on the practice facility. So we'll do some research on that and see what we can find out for y'all. But until then, y'all stay tuned. Talk soon. It's Political Ills. Let's talk sports, man.